Hi, everyone. Today I'm going to talk to you about a tool that I really enjoy called Whiteboard.fi. I'm going to show you some of the functionality of it and explain why I love it so much. First of all, as a math teacher, having this tool in my classroom and then also being able to use it in the virtual environment, which is when I discovered this was during the pandemic, was extremely helpful in improving engagement and increasing on-task behavior. It does cost money. It's about $13 a month. I find it completely worth it. There is a free version. The functionality, of course, is limited if you choose to use the free version. I've gone it since I pay for it. I'm going to go ahead and show you everything it can do. I can start a new assignment. I can prepare a whiteboard for future use, or I can start a live session. I'm going to have us start a live session just so you can see what this is. And I'm going to just call it test for right now. And it's going to give me a choice to start from a blank whiteboard or load from library. And I'll show you the load from library in just a minute. We'll start from a blank whiteboard. Here on my whiteboard, I've now started a live session where I can work with my students. They get whiteboards and so do I. Well, how do they join? We've got a PIN number. I can show a QR code, or I can copy and paste a link into the chat of a Teams meeting, or and put the link in the learning management system of your school. My students would get the link and then paste it into their browser, type their name, and bam, they're in. Their whiteboard is the big one on the left, and they're looking at my whiteboard that's on the right. So what do they see? Going back to my teacher view, you can see that I now can see the students over here on the right, and I can write instructions. We can do math problems. I can press on my pen and decide on how thick I want to write. And I can say, let's solve one-step equations using addition and subtraction. X plus 11 equals 13. And I can ask my students to solve that. They can either see what's on my whiteboard and write on their own whiteboard, x plus 11 equals 13, and show their work. That works too, minus 11 on both sides, you see. And then going back to the teacher view, I can see what Laura is doing over here on the right-hand side of my screen. That's certainly one way to do it. I could also push my board to the students so they can write right on it. And let's take a look at how to do that from a new session. So I'm going to end this session. I don't want it to be saved. And I'm going to go back to my dashboard. And my session has been ended by the teacher. So I'll go back to the home page and wait for a new link. I mentioned before that you could upload assignments, you can load from something called the library. Here in the library, you can create a new whiteboard where you can upload PDFs, worksheets that you might have had the children do with pencil and paper. You can now have them do digitally, and you can see what they're doing in real time. So from here, I've already loaded one up. I'm going to click on actions and I'm going to start a new live session. And I'm going to load it from the whiteboard. Excuse me, I'm going to load the whiteboard from the library. So this is my whiteboard, and I'm going to give my students the link so they can join. Going back over to the student account now. And voila, the student can see the teacher whiteboard with the worksheet on it. But the student can't really see the worksheet, can she? And she certainly can't work on it. Well, the teacher has the option to push this page out to the students. You can click over here on students, push teacher whiteboard to students. I want just the current page because you can add blank pages, blank whiteboards behind the one you're using. And I'm going to push that. Now it's on Laura's whiteboard. Well, when Laura gets it, so we're back over at Laura's account, Laura can zoom in on it so she can see the problems and she can work them. She's been instructed to do number 1. So she's going to come over to her whiteboard. She's going to select her pen tool, the size. She can change the color to make it purple. They can erase their work. They can add pictures. They can put in text boxes. They can do however. And she's going to do her work in purple. She's going to add 7 to both sides. And those 7s cancel out. X equals 11. So that's what she's written on her whiteboard. The teacher can see that. I can click on Laura's whiteboard back over at the teacher account, and I can see what she's working on and how she's working. And I can send feedback immediately. I can send a thumbs up or a thumbs down. I can write a comment. Great job. Great job. Adding to both sides. I can send that directly to her. The feedback has been sent. And what the student sees is, oh, look, I got this feedback from the teacher. Great job adding to both sides. Now, if she had been doing something wrong, I could have quietly just sent her a message. Are you sure you wanted to do that? Or why don't you check that work again, without having to necessarily call the student out in front of class. Also, again, in the virtual environment, that's very, very, very helpful. So you can see that the students have a ton of tools that are available to them. If they have a question, they can raise their hand. Over in the teacher's account, I see that Laura's got her hand up and I can address her directly. And you can keep everybody on task. There are just a number of really great things that you can do with Whiteboard.fi, especially as a math teacher, especially in a one-to-one or a virtual environment. I hope that you've enjoyed this brief tutorial on why I like Whiteboard.fi, and I hope that you use it to your success in your classroom.